Heat stroke. The best treatment options. Heat stroke is a form of hyperthermia in which the body temperature is elevated dramatically. Heat stroke is a medical emergency and can be fatal if not promptly and properly treated. The cause of heat stroke is an elevation in body temperature, often accompanied by dehydration. Symptoms of heat stroke can include confusion, agitation, disorientation, the absence of sweating, and coma. Heat stroke is diagnosed by observation of the symptoms and signs in a person exposed to extreme temperatures. Heat stroke is treated by cooling. The victim is a critical step in the treatment of heat stroke. Always notify emergency services immediately if heat stroke is suspected. The most important measures to prevent heat strokes are to avoid becoming dehydrated and to avoid vigorous physical activities in hot and humid weather. Infants, the elderly, athletes, and outdoor workers are the groups at greatest risk for heat stroke. Leaving infants, children, or animals in cars poses a risk for heat stroke. Even in moderate weather, the temperature inside a closed car can reach dangerous levels. Risk for heat stroke. Heat stroke is a form of hyperthermia or heat-related illness, an abnormally elevated body temperature with accompanying physical symptoms including changes in the nervous system function. Unlike heat cramps and heat exhaustion, two other forms of hyperthermia that are less severe, heat stroke is a true medical emergency that is often fatal if not properly and promptly treated. Heat stroke is also sometimes referred to as heat stroke or sunstroke. Severe hyperthermia is defined as a body temperature of 104 F, 40 C, or higher. The body normally generates heat as a result of metabolism, and is usually able to dissipate the heat by radiation of heat through the skin or by evaporation of sweat. However, in extreme heat, high humidity, or vigorous physical exertion under the sun, the body may not be able to sufficiently dissipate the heat and the body temperature rises, sometimes up to 106 F, 41.1 C, or higher. Another cause of heat stroke is dehydration. A dehydrated person may not be able to sweat fast enough to dissipate heat, which causes the body temperature to rise. Heat stroke is not the same as a stroke. Stroke is the general term used to describe decreased oxygen flow to an area of the brain. Those most susceptible, at risk, individuals to heat stroke include infants, the elderly, often with associated heart diseases, lung diseases, kidney diseases, or who are taking medications that make them vulnerable to dehydration and heat strokes. Athletes, individuals who work outside and physically exert themselves under the sun. Infants, children, or pets left in cars. Heat stroke is sometimes classified as exertional heat stroke, EHS, which is due to overexertion in hot weather, or non-exertional heat stroke, NES, which occurs in climactic extremes and affects the elderly, infants, and chronically ill. What are heat stroke symptoms and signs? Symptoms of heat stroke can sometimes mimic those of heart attack or other conditions. Sometimes a person experiences symptoms of heat exhaustion before progressing to heat strokes. Signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion include nausea, vomiting, fatigue, weakness, headache, muscle cramps and aches, and dizziness. However, some individuals can develop symptoms of heat stroke suddenly and rapidly without warning. Different people may have different symptoms and signs of heat stroke. Common symptoms and signs of heat stroke include high body temperature, the absence of sweating, with hot red or flushed dry skin, rapid pulse, difficulty breathing, strange behavior, hallucinations, confusion, agitation, disorientation, seizure, or coma. Heat stroke in children. While the elderly are at greatest risk for heat stroke, infants and children are also at risk. In particular, infants or young children who are unattended in locked car may suffer heat-related illness quickly, since the indoor temperature of a locked car can rise to dangerous levels even in moderate weather. Rarely, infants have died of heat stroke when overly bundled in their cribs. It is critically important that parents understand the medical dangers inherent in leaving children unattended in cars in addition to the obvious safety risks. Further, cars should always be kept locked when not in use so that children may not enter them and become trapped. Among older children and teens, heat stroke or heat-related illness is a risk for athletes who train in hot environmental conditions. Among reported heat-related illnesses in U.S. high school athletes, the majority of cases occur in football players during the month of August. Treat a heat stroke victim. Victims of heat stroke must receive immediate treatment to avoid permanent organ damage. First and foremost, cool the victim. Get the victim to a shady area, remove clothing, apply cool or tepid water to the skin, fan the victim to promote sweating and evaporation, and place ice packs under the armpits and groin. If the person is able to drink liquids, have them drink cool water or other cool beverages that do not contain alcohol or caffeine. Monitor body temperature with a thermometer and continue cooling efforts until the body temperature drops to 101 to 102 F, 38.3 to 38.8 C. Always notify emergency services, 911, immediately. If their arrival is delayed, they can give you further instructions for treatment of the victim. Heat stroke be prevented. The most important measures to prevent heat strokes are to avoid becoming dehydrated and to avoid vigorous physical activities in hot and humid weather. If you have to perform physical activities in hot weather, drink plenty of fluids, such as water and sports drinks, but avoid alcohol and caffeine, including soft drinks and tea, which may lead to dehydration. Your body will need replenishment of electrolytes, such as sodium, as well as fluids if you sweat excessively or perform vigorous activity in the sunlight for prolonged periods. Take frequent breaks to hydrate yourself. Wear hats and light-colored, lightweight, loose clothes. Keep cars locked when not in use and never, ever, leave infants, children or pets unattended in a locked car. Here are some home remedies for heat stroke. Avoid peak sun hours. Stay out of the sun during the hottest part of the day, between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. However, if it is very hot before or after these times, also avoid being out in the direct sun during those times. If possible, schedule outdoor activities for the coolest times of the day, early morning or after sunset. If you need to go out when it is hot, make sure to apply sunscreen, wear a hat and stay in the shade whenever possible. Also, do not forget to carry a water bottle with you. Get acclimated to the heat. Allow your body to acclimate to the heat to increase your ability to do strenuous work during the hot summer days. Acclimating means gradually getting your body used to the climate. A sudden change in temperature can cause illness. So, after spending a long time in the sun, rest a bit before going into an air-conditioned building. This will prepare your body to handle the change in temperature. Similarly, after sitting in an air-conditioned area, stay outside in the shade for some time before going out in the sun. If you travel to hot climates for vacation or work, allow your body to get used to the heat before spending your day outside. Exercise carefully. Exercise is good for your overall health, but any strenuous activity in the daytime during the summer months can raise your body temperature, leading to heat exhaustion or heat stroke. During the summer season, plan your exercise routine accordingly. Avoid strenuous exercises during the day. Avoid playing outdoor sports during the peak hours of the day. Schedule your vigorous exercises for cooler times of the day. Park your car sensibly. When parked in the sun, the temperature inside your car rises quickly. In addition, the oxygen level inside the car becomes dangerously low. This can lead to heat stroke and even death. Park your car in a shady place. Always lock your car after parking to prevent children from getting inside. Do not sit in a parked car. Instead, stand outside your car under some shade. Do not leave children or elderly people in a parked car, even if it is for a few minutes. Do not leave animals, especially dogs, in a parked car. Do not take a nap inside a parked car during the hot summer. If you need to sit in the car on a hot day, make sure the air conditioning is on or at least open the windows all the way.